Emily slammed the tablet face down on the kitchen counter and pressed both hands flat against the cold marble to stop them from shaking. She had found it by accident. Daniel's old tablet, buried under a pile of work files she'd been sorting through. She wasn't snooping. She wasn't suspicious. Not anymore. She had stopped being suspicious months ago because Daniel had convinced her that suspicion was just her anxiety talking. But the cloud had synced, and the messages were right there. 3 messages. One night, a woman named Mara. The affair itself was brief, almost embarrassingly so. One night, 9 months ago, the kind of thing that, by itself, might have broken a marriage but could, maybe, with work, be survived. But here's what Emily now understood. Sitting in her kitchen at 11 p.m. with the tablet face down and her hands pressed to the marble. It wasn't the cheating that had destroyed her. It was the 9 months that came after. 18 months ago, Emily and Daniel were the couple that made other couples feel inadequate. 6 years together, 3 of them married. Sunday farmers markets. Friday movie nights. The kind of easy, unhurried happiness that looks effortless from the outside because both people inside it are actually trying. Daniel was the type of man who remembered things. Her coffee order, the name of her childhood dog, the way she liked the window cracked open even in winter. He wasn't flashy. He was steady. And for Emily, steady was everything. When his company sent him on a 2-week business trip in October, she missed him the way you miss something you've built your life around. "I'll miss you every single day," he told her at the airport. She squeezed his hand. "Don't do anything I wouldn't do." He laughed. She didn't know, then, how much weight that sentence would carry. The last Thursday of the trip, there was a team dinner. Wine. A colleague named Mara who laughed too easily and stood too close. Daniel made a choice. One night, one mistake, one moment of weakness that he would spend the next 9 months paying for in ways he hadn't anticipated. By morning, the guilt was already crushing him. He sat on the edge of the hotel bed, phone in hand, Emily's contact pulled up on the screen. He could have called. He almost did. But he made the second choice instead, the one that would prove far more damaging than the first. He decided to say nothing. He deleted the messages, cleared his call log, and boarded his flight home with plan. Bury it, move forward, be a better husband. Mara was a mistake. Emily was his life. He would make it right by being everything she deserved. What he didn't account for was that Emily knew him. All of him. She noticed a shift within a week of his return. Not anything she could name. Just a frequency change, like a radio station drifting slightly off its signal. He was attentive, maybe too attentive. He brought home flowers twice in 1 week, which he'd never done before. Then she saw the name on his phone. Mara. A message preview that disappeared before she could read it. "Who's Mara?" she asked, keeping her voice easy, casual. Daniel didn't look up from the stove. "A colleague from the trip." "Why?" "Just saw the name pop up. She's on the project team. It's work stuff." He turned and smiled. "You want garlic bread with this?" She let it go, because he was standing there making dinner and smiling at her, and she loved him, and the alternative, that there was something to find, was too heavy to carry without proof. But the questions didn't stop coming. A restaurant receipt she didn't recognize. A new email password he'd never mentioned changing. A flinch when his phone rang while they were watching TV. "Daniel, something feels off between us." He turned to her with tired, patient eyes. "Emily, what exactly do you think is happening?" "I don't know. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Something just feels. You're anxious. You've always been anxious. This is what it does. It makes you look for problems that aren't there." She went quiet, because he wasn't wrong that she was anxious. He had never been wrong about that. Over the months that followed, Daniel became an architect of alternative realities. Every question Emily raised, he had an answer for. Every inconsistency, a plausible explanation. He showed her a scrubbed version of the group chat. He framed the late nights as a difficult project season. He told her the distance she felt between them was something she was manufacturing. And the cruelest part was that he did it gently. He never shouted. He never called her crazy outright. He just kept redirecting her, softly, consistently, with the confidence of someone who knew exactly where the truth was buried. "I think you should talk to someone," he told her one evening. "Not because anything is wrong with us, just because you've been so in your head lately." So Emily started therapy. She sat in an office twice a week and tried to explain a feeling she couldn't name, a persistent sense that the floor beneath her was slightly tilted, that she was always off balance without knowing why. Her therapist asked good questions. Emily gave honest answers. And slowly, she started to believe the story Daniel had been telling her, that the problem was inside her. She apologized to him for being suspicious. He accepted it graciously. She stopped trusting her instincts. He told her that was growth. By month 5, Emily had lost weight she hadn't tried to lose. She was making errors at work, small ones, but she'd never made them before. Her friendships had quietly narrowed because she was too exhausted to maintain them, and too ashamed to explain what was wrong when she couldn't even explain it to herself. She had become a quieter, smaller, more uncertain version of the woman Daniel had married, and he had been there for every step of the transformation, gently confirming it. The tablet had been sitting on the shelf for months, forgotten. Emily had grabbed it to look up a recipe, and that's all it was, a recipe. But when she opened the messaging app out of habit, the cloud had done what clouds do. It had synced. She read the 3 messages twice, then a third time. One night, 9 months ago, already over before she'd ever thought to look. The affair was nothing. A flash, a moment of weakness that, in the grand accounting of their marriage, shouldn't have been fatal. But 9 months. 9 months of being told she was imagining things. 9 months of therapy to fix something that was never broken in her. 9 months of shrinking, doubting, apologizing for being right. She set the tablet face down on the counter, and for the first time in almost a year, she felt completely, terrifyingly clear. Daniel came home at 7:30, the same as always. He dropped his keys in the bowl by the door, called out her name. She was sitting at the kitchen table. Still, "Hey!" He stopped when he saw her face. "What's wrong?" She slid the tablet across the table without a word. He looked at the screen. She watched the color leave his face in real time. "Emily, don't." Her voice didn't waver. "I don't need the explanation. I read it. I understand what it was. It was one night, one mistake. It meant absolutely nothing." "I know," she said. "That's not why I'm sitting here." He opened his mouth. "Close it. I'm sitting here because of every single time you looked me in the eye and told me I was imagining things. Because of the months I spent in therapy trying to fix an anxiety that was never the problem. Because you watched me fall apart and told me I was doing it to myself. Emily, I was trying to protect. You were protecting yourself." She stood, "And you used my own mind against me to do it." He had nothing. For the first time in 9 months, he had no answer ready. "You didn't destroy us with one night, Daniel." She picked up the tablet. "You destroyed me with everything that came after." She didn't leave that night. She needed sleep and clarity and a plan. But she left 3 days later, not in anger, not in tears, but in the quiet certainty of a woman who had found her footing again. Daniel stood in the doorway and watched her put the last bag in her car. He asked if she was sure. She didn't answer, because the question didn't deserve one. There is a particular kind of damage that doesn't come from betrayal itself. It comes from being made to doubt your own perception of it. Emily had survived the cheating. What she was still rebuilding herself from was the 9 months of being told, again and again, that what she felt wasn't real. One mistake didn't end the marriage. The lies did, because you can forgive someone for being human. But you cannot forgive someone for making you feel like you were losing your mind and calling it love.
Thank you for watching till the end. Sometimes the deepest scars come from the lies, not the mistakes. If this story moved you, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more powerful stories every week.